Welcome to Spotlight Gulf Coast, a weekly showcase of people and events across South Mississippi. Sponsored by the IP Casino Resort and Spa, Mississippi Power Company, Wykert Realtors Gulf Properties, and Butch Ostelet Autoplex.
Hi everyone, this is Todd Trenchard, Executive Director of the Baco Foundation in South Mississippi, welcoming you to another segment of Spotlight Gulf Coast right here on WXXV. Each week we're coming into your living room talking about what's going on all across South Mississippi, and we want to thank our sponsors for this generous opportunity. Today we're going to be talking about a concert that we've been putting on now, I know for the last 10 or 11 years, and we have Miss Amanda Gray coming all the way over here from Pascagoula. And Amanda, we did this last year, a little different in your backyard. I hope you enjoyed the drive over.
Yeah, it was nice. Nice to get out.
I know you've been very busy. I've been very complimentary to you because you're always at every event I see. I walk up to you and you've sort of been a breath of fresh air out in our community. And congratulations. What was the award you just won?
It was a Women of Achievement for the Young Professionals category for Lighthouse Business and Professional Women.
And that's sort of probably your first big award down here. And, like you said, very surprising and but well-deserved. Like I said, you're out there representing both the health system, but today we're going to be talking about something that you got involved with. And of course, I just call it the alternative concert. It's always a new song. And, I've gone to it a lot of years. I actually was the MC for a few of the years. And, this is a first-rate concert in our backyard, right?
So, of course, we've had this concert for maybe 10 plus years. So right. It's exciting to keep something this big and this exciting in Pascagoula. But hopefully, as the years go on, maybe we'll outgrow the Civic Center and we can make the concert even bigger and better. So kind of excited to talk about it today and see how we can get more people to show up and kind of get involved with our mission of work.
How did you get involved with it?
So David Lowry from Singing River Health System, of course, I do marketing. So he was like, hey, how can we kind of find a new way to expand and grow this concert? What are we missing from it? And of course, I do social media, digital marketing, and things like that. So I was super excited to jump on board and kind of find a way to reach more people with my expertise.
Well, this is not what people are thinking about when you're talking about a concert. This is world-class musicians that come through here, and it's a tour they play. What is it? Very Merry Christmas tour.
Yes.
And the quality is just unbelievable. Some of the I guess backup groups that have been on this have gone on to win major awards. And you see their names and stuff, and I see them all the time on Pandora or they're just household word, Big Daddy Weave, or and they've all come through this sort of thing. And I think that's how a lot of these artists get discovered is, doing this. Now this year, who is it? You practiced the name.
So we have New Song, who's returning from last year. And of course, this is their tour. And then we have Francesca Battistelli. So she's a household name. She is. She actually just won a GMC award for one of her songs. So that's pretty cool. And then I believe she's dropping a new album in December. So that will be cool. She plays some of her new songs.
I know she's been here before. When you see real musicians that are really talented, and these guys are, it's just about everything they put on. And it has a very strong Christian, Christmas theme to it, with a little bit of action. In fact, back in the day, we used to have so much stuff flying in the air, and they had to stop all that because I think it took too long to clean up the church afterwards. But, there's people out there the day before. They're standing in line wanting to get in. Where do these people come from? I've been there where it's raining outside. They're still packed in there. It takes a little bit of, like you said, a little art to get it out there. And we're not just selling this in Pascagoula, this is all over the region.
Right. Yeah, so like I said, we want to make it bigger and better every single year. And so, we try to reach more than just Pascagoula or Gulfport. we're trying to tap into like Mobile and over in Louisiana, just because we are right here on the coast. And the more people we can invite to the concert and get them to come, that's more people we get to meet, fellowship with, and, hear Christmas music. And a lot of people want to feel that joy during the holiday season, because it's not always a happy time for people. So
Right.
just being able to have that Christmas spirit and get together and kind of be in a place where we can hear those worship songs and Christmas classics, it's really uplifting this time of year.
I know that the groups that come in and New Song, and then here locally, the Alternative, they're also raising monies for local causes and, causes they may be helping. Do y'all have an identified cause this year that will be helped locally, or?
Yes, so we help Home of Grace. We bring in other organizations too, but we do kind of use our ticket sales and those sponsorships to kind of give back to Home of Grace and kind of help people. There's a cost to putting people through those addiction and recovery programs. Right. And you were at their gala a couple weeks ago, and to be able to hear some of those stories is absolutely amazing and humbling. So anything that we can do, putting on this concert to give back to the community is just an extra layer of, just this community work that we're trying to do, and, spread the gospel too.
Right. And it's, tickets are very reasonable. You think of, bigger concerts today, it may cost you $50, $60, $75 to go to. I think these are still around the $20 range. And it's offset by corporate sponsorships. And, for years and years, I know when we were first trying to get this off the ground, a friend of mine, we got David, Mac McInnes and I met. I gave him a $5,000 check, and we were able to keep this thing going. But we've had a lot of the banks stepped up. I know Eminem's been a big supporter of it. And then you've got those in your backyard. But certainly we need more of that. We need people to understand. I mean, David's a one-man show. I mean, he's sort of into this. And he's put all this together, but needs a little bit of help. He's got a day job. So I know that's something, if somebody wanted tickets, where are they going to get tickets?
So you can either get your physical ticket at any M&M Bank location, or you can go to itickets.com and purchase them that way. We have individual tickets for $20. We have artist circle tickets for $30, so that you get VIP seating, you get early entry at 5 o'clock, and you even get to mingle with the artists before the show and after. And then if you have a group 15 or more, or 10 or more, $15. And then of course church groups have a special code too. So if you need any other information, we have a Facebook page, The Alternative, and so we can message that way. And then if you're a first responder, you get in for free.
Okay. I appreciate you taking the time to come over here. This is the first time I've done the show without David. I always throw in my LSU's better than Ole Miss. Your Hogs beat them last week, so Ole Miss is be hurting. That's why he's not here today.
Yes.
Because if anybody doesn't know David, he's worn his Ole Miss hat, probably the same hat, for all the years that I've known him. So thank you, Amanda. Appreciate you.
No, thanks for having me.
And we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're now joined by Kelsey Keel, and I always want to say, defy it.
Yeah.
And that's your maiden name. And I remember when we brought you in, you had a very impressive resume. And of course, the name Tulane stuck out because I'm a Tulane boy. So I was like excited to meet you. And how long ago has that been?
I did my master's at Tulane. I graduated in, I think, 2013. But since then, I've gone back for my PhD. So I'm a doctoral candidate now.
Wow.
So hoping to graduate shortly. Wrap that up.
I know when we sat down with this program. It was Randy Doyle, myself. We were talking some things at the Y, kicking around some ideas, and some of the people that were on that coalition are still on it. I know. I think Joey's still on it. Laura Sessom was in the room, and
Amy Brandenstein, Alan Sudduth.
But this is a big deal. I know for Alan and Chevron, it was sort of an initiative they wanted to help push. And it really was coming at the right time because everybody started thinking about, the importance of health. And now we take it for granted, a lot of things today, because health is in. I mean, it's starting to change the mindset. And so it's sort of neat to see that. So I wanted you to give a little bit of an overview. I know we're going to talk about maybe an event we got coming up on the next segment, but I want to talk about, really what you've seen over the last, say, 10 years.
Well, as we know, our organization was founded in 2013, and I was brought on as executive director in 2014. And since then, childhood obesity is still a critical issue, something we're working for addressing, but those trends are so slow to change. It takes years. We're trying to change a culture, on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, trying to get children and families healthier. So we have seen a lot of positive change in people eating more nutritious food and making some healthier choices, being more active, all those things that we've been working with our partners on. But it's a slow change to try to move that needle to combat obesity, because it's those habits and those social norms are ingrained in, our identities.
Yeah, and it is. And, I still have like a lot of people my age, you just sort of bypass the vegetable and fruit section and you head straight to the meats and that's just sort of, like you said, something that you're sort of innate, born into. But you also learn as you get older how much healthier you feel if you switch to those type things. And there is some merit to that, because when you eat breads and then you eat meats and red meats, you're sluggish. And when you eat vegetables, and it's almost like you have more energy and cleaner. So you start learning some things, and y'all have to try to promote, the fact of childhood obesity by talking about the nutritional aspect. I know y'all come up with that number thing, and I can never get what it is.
Yes. So we use the 5210 message. It started in the state of Maine. It's gone nationwide. There's 521 programs kind of all across the nation. I believe we're the only one in Mississippi still. And so the goal is to get children and adults to eat 5 or more fruits and vegetables every day, 2 hours or less of recreational screen time, 1 hour or more of physical activity, and then 0 sugary drinks. So trying to get kids and adults to drink more water or low-fat milk, things like that. So all of our programming is around the 5210 message. So, we work with schools, after-school programs, early childhood centers, healthcare partners. So whether it's like Singing River Hospital System to pediatric offices, some physical therapy offices, any type of healthcare office, we partner with them, along with our community organizations like the YMCA and the Croc Center and the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
And we also work with, we call them our healthy workplace partners, so local businesses, and we try to address worksite wellness policies, trying to get adults healthier at work. So that's something that people sometimes get confused about or don't understand. We're trying to combat childhood obesity. Why are we going into offices and trying to get adults healthier at work? Well, those are the parents, the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles. So if we can get them thinking about health and wellness and maybe drinking more water at work or doing a walking challenge with their coworkers, then they can start to bring those habits home. And then obviously a lot of what we do, is in schools and after school programs with the young kids.
I know that, and I've known some of the biggest names that own big soda, producers here on the coast or distributors here on the coast. And, we've talked about this, just like beer products, they've gone to light beer. It's not as filling maybe as regular beer. They learned that. But even with sodas, a lot more diet sodas, sugar-free. They make Coke that tastes exactly like Coke, but it's sugar-free. And so they've done a great job with that. And if you go to a cardiologist, he'll tell you what's the most important thing: drink water. All the water you can drink. And, it's something, that's what our bodies are, and we sit there and we not polluted, but I've had times where I would drink 14 sodas a day. And it was certainly probably not good for you.
No, we don't want you to
anything
do that.
in that excess. So some of this is, you think common sense, but it's not. It's almost like they said, it's ingrained to stop in and get something at fast food. Everybody likes that, and that's all fine, but you can't do that all the time either.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those things, you get in those behaviors and you have your routines, and then they're hard to break. So if you were drinking 14 sodas a day, it's something you weren't thinking about, you were just doing.
Right.
So that's something we try to work with people on, adults especially, but also children and youth, starting to just be conscious of that and, start counting how many sodas you're drinking. And then it's hard, it's challenging, but then swapping out, 1 or 2 sodas a day for a glass of water,
Right.
or trying infused water. If, people tell us they don't like the flavor of water, it's,
Right.
Not exciting,
Right.
Trying to do some different things and not just lemon water or cucumber water.
Yeah, you go in there. They've got some
Yeah.
incredible choices today.
And one great thing that we do is we go into schools and we do kind of infused water tastings. So we try to get kids to really think outside the box. So we'll bring in like strawberry jalapeno flavored water.
Right.
We just cut up jalapenos and strawberries and let them sit overnight.
Right.
And kids always say it makes the water spicy or it's snappy, things like that. Doing like mint and basil with watermelon, kind of letting them make their own concoctions, and you can make
Right.
water exciting, but just being conscious. I mean, obviously you can have a soda, everything in moderation, but trying to be conscious of those choices we're making and do a couple healthy swaps until over time, that's your new healthy behavior.
Right, right.
You're now drinking water more and you're not drinking the soda, but that can take, weeks, months until you kind of get to that point where your behavior changes and you're no longer having to think about it. So.
Right. Well, we're going to bring Amanda on the next segment. I know we're putting together an event that, is sort of kicking around some ideas. Health fair sort of has come to the forefront, and I'm very excited about that. And I think that this can be something that we put on annually, but very excited about that. So you don't get to move, I get to move, and y'all don't want to touch that remote, because we're going to talk about a brand new event that we hope to be having coming up here in a couple months, where we'll, I guess, be looking at Biloxi.
I think so. That's
where
the
we're
plan.
honing in, and so don't touch that remote. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Amanda Ray, the Community Relations Director of the Baco Foundation of South Mississippi. I'm so excited to be hosting the third segment with Kelsey Keel, the wonderful guest from Let's Go Gulf Coast, Executive Director. Kelsey and I go way back with the YMCA. We work together on some events together with the Y and Let's Go Gulf Coast. We're both very passionate about health, wellness, and youth. So I'm really excited about the future of us partnering together for this healthy community family event. So tell me a little bit of your thoughts and ideas for this upcoming event.
Well, thanks for having me again. So we've been talking for a couple weeks now, and we want to do a big healthy kind of family day, a community day. And we've been talking about hosting it in downtown Biloxi. And we want to incorporate, we're Let's Go Gulf Coast. We've talked about lighting up the Gulf Coast, doing a family-friendly, a bike ride, maybe a walk, optional run, getting people out together as a family, as individuals, and showing that being active doesn't have to be intimidating. It doesn't have to be scary to start, whether you're just trying to get out and be active for the first time. You're new to bike riding on the streets, or if you want to start walking or running, kind of kickstart a healthy habit.
Right.
Or if you're a seasoned bike rider, if you're a seasoned runner and you want to come out with your young kids, family, and kind of have a great day, incorporate some health education and things like that.
And I think that's so important. You hit it on with a family event. I'm always looking for fun things to do as a family that my husband and I will enjoy, but also our children. So I think it's so important for us on the coast to have more events like this that also have the educational piece and the ability to help educate and combat childhood obesity and just get the whole community involved. So I'm really excited about that. What are some of the other events that you guys have done in the past?
So we've partnered with the YMCA, obviously, and did the Healthy Kids Day. And that's always great because that also gets families out.
Right.
We get to work with the kids, give them some fruits and vegetables. They get to do the 1 mile fun run. And you do a little bit of education, especially with parents, on ways that they can be healthy. We've done a lot of events also in the schools. So we've hosted numerous interactive health fairs, especially with the 6th graders in Jackson County, kind of pre-COVID. We'd bring in over 20 vendors and walk kids through an interactive health fair and teach them about healthy habits, healthy behaviors, healthy relationships, things like that. We also do a lot of events with the local Head Starts. So kind of working with the younger kids, 3 to 5, on the importance of healthy habits. We do a lot of education with them. Something I didn't know, I learned years ago, was that the healthy habits that kids develop by the age of 5 are the habits that they carry with them throughout life.
Wow.
So that's always interesting to me. we think of kids that are 2, 3, 4, 5 as, they're babies. They're so
Right.
young. I have toddlers, and it's interesting to think about the habits that they're kind of building now at that young age. Those are the ones that are going to carry them through high school, through college,
Right.
into adulthood. So bringing that back to like a healthy community event, it's important to get families out, give them the education, give them the information on how they can be healthy so that we can
Right.
kind of shape our next generation in the future, and getting kids to be conscious of healthy habits at such a young age and have their family be supportive of that.
I love that. I love the whole family involvement, and I love that it's little steps at a time, and it's just a great cause. It's a great idea to come up with. So I'm looking forward. I know we're kind of in the mix right now of coming up with some things, but I'm really excited. We've got a great committee. We've got a lot of good minds coming together. I think it's going to be a wonderful event, a big event. Biloxi, we're looking at the end of February is kind of what's on the radar right now. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great, great community event, and all about, helping youth, helping families come together. And I love what you said about not having to make these huge steps, little steps at a time, because gyms can be intimidating. Walking around the neighborhood can be intimidating. Sometimes it's just the small little step to get your foot out the door and start that healthy activity that can really, in the end, change your life. So it's a wonderful organization. I'm really excited to partner together and to come up with an amazing community event. So let's talk about the holidays coming up.
Yes.
With the holidays coming up, we've got Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas. So that's all about a lot of indulgence. So why don't we just kind of share some healthy little tips for families that they can do together? That way the holiday weight gain won't be such a problem.
Yes, there's so many healthy tips that you can try to do through the holidays. And again, I'm never going to tell anyone, don't have dessert, don't eat what you like, because that's not fair and that's not fun, but everything in moderation. So just little tips that you can do, and I feel like aren't really challenging. When you go to get your pie or your dessert, don't cut the biggest piece you can, or take half a serving of some of your sweets. Be conscious of what you're putting on your plate. So have your sweets, have your desserts. It's the holidays, but try to limit it in moderation. And then also, you probably know a lot about this too, but when filling your holiday plates, make sure you really focus on getting some vegetables, maybe some fruits, but more at your dinner time, your vegetables.
Exactly.
So try to get half your plate with vegetables, and then fill with the other things that you want to eat too. And again, just moderation is really key.
Well, what I always try to do, and actually just this past weekend, we had a Friendsgiving event. I always try to bring something healthy. So I made a big kale salad. It had walnuts and pumpkin seeds and apples and all kinds of good stuff, a good homemade vinaigrette. So I always try to bring something that I know it's going to be healthy, full of fiber, and try to fill my plate up with that. But as well as, of course, day of Thanksgiving, Christmas, I'm going to enjoy the meal. I try not to eat too many of the leftovers. One of my little tips is get those out of the house. You don't want to be eating Thanksgiving leftovers for 10 days. So, and stay active. I'm always walking around with the family, taking walks, going on runs, drinking water. There's so many little tips and things I think you can do as a family together to avoid, the overindulgence and the weight gain throughout the holidays.
Well, and especially I like that you kind of brought it back to family again. After you eat Thanksgiving dinner or your meal, it's really great. Your whole family's together, take a walk through the neighborhood. You have your friends, you have family with you. Y'all can be supportive, try to walk off some of the calories you just ate.
Right.
But then all weekend, if you have family visiting, try to do active things together. Especially around Christmas time, there's so many things to do on the coast. You can go to the Light Festival, walking around Jones Park. There's all the different, Christmas events in the downtowns. Try to increase your step count. But make it fun. Do it with your family, do it with your friends, you're with your kids, and talk about, you're trying to get a little bit of exercise, and be conscious of that.
Well, I really love that. And I love all the ideas that we've talked about today. I'm excited about this upcoming fundraiser. I'm excited about just the future of Let's Go Gulf Coast. I know that there's some things that we can't quite talk about now, but we'll definitely bring you back to talk about in the future. Very exciting for our community and just the general public, and for the better health and well-being of Mississippi. So thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And I definitely look forward to our upcoming event. And thank you for joining us this week. Make sure to join us again next weekend for another episode of Spotlight Gulf Coast on WXXV. We'll see you next week.